11 Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chicago, the final game of the SFL regular season, and it couldn't mean more. The Wildcats are in. They are the 7 seed, but Sioux Falls controls not only their destiny, but Houston's and Tulsa's and everyone else's wild card destiny in their hands tonight. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. Charles, Chicago has never beaten Sioux Falls, but they've never been in a better position to do so than tonight. Yeah,
definitely. I think we're going to have a great game on our hands. Get your oxygen tanks ready. This is going to be a good one. So like you said, Sioux Falls has to win this to get in the playoffs. I think we're going to see more of the same as Sioux Falls. A lot of passing, but the danger on both sides of the ball, on the Chicago side and the Sioux Falls side, is they've got ball hawking secondary, so we could potentially see a lot of interceptions tonight. I'm excited. I know you're excited. Let's get this going.
Sioux Falls in the all whites with the black and yellow, black numbers with black and yellow trim. Sioux Falls has won the toss. They will defer to the second half, and that will put the Sparrows defense on the field first. Charles, your final thoughts before kickoff.
Yeah, again, I think the team that wins is the team that makes the fewest mistakes out there. As I stated, both of these defenses are great at causing turnovers. The offense that's able to minimize that, I think, is going to wind up with a W.
We're about to find out who gets the last playoff spot, and we'll get through all the postseason storylines as we move along tonight. You are watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and we couldn't be more excited for tonight's action. Charles and Cam with you. Sioux Falls has the ball on the tee and the hand in the air, and we, for the last time in the regular season, say, kick it, we're underway. Corey Carter back to return from the 9-yard line, and Carter gets past the 25 and up to the 30, and E.T. King will take over for Chicago. And his season has gone a little bit downhill down the latter stretch of the year, but he's had a great season.
Yeah, not a bad season. I think he might want to take a couple of those interceptions off the books, but overall he's a veteran. Doesn't make a lot of interceptions, but recently he's made a couple he wants to get off the books.
After Baltimore's victory, the quarterfinals are set. We'll be talking about that throughout the night. The handoff goes to Ash Odom, and Odom up the middle picks up 4.
Yeah, one of the things I think we'll see from Chicago tonight is a little bit of balance with Ash Odom on the runs, and then look for Buchanan Simons. He's known for the deep routes. He's got one of the highest yards per catch in the league.
Chicago off to a solid start with E.T. King out of the gun. 3 down linemen for Sioux Falls. And King will drop to throw all day long. Deep down the middle of the pass, incomplete, intended for Buchanan Simons. Well defended. Sioux Falls has let a couple of deep balls get behind their secondary this season. Not so fast tonight.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think we're going to see Simons on a lot of deep routes. The problem is that secondary, the Sparrows, they're all over it. They showed it on that play as well.
3rd and 6 at the 35. King's going to go empty. And Sioux Falls looks manned up with a roaming linebacker. And King's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. A 6-yard loss, rather an 8-yard loss. And brought down in the backfield at the 27-yard line. Chicago will have to go 3 and out here.
Yep, Lennox Sanders, 6'4", 320 pounds. They only had a 3-man rush coming in, and the offensive line wasn't able to stop it. But Sanders got back there and made that drive come to a halt.
So Chicago will punt it away. And A.J. Levy's the return man. He stands at his 40. Fumbled the ball! Chicago recovers at the Sioux Falls 43-yard line.
Oh, my gosh. That is something that A.J. Levy rarely ever does. Let's see what happens here on the replay.
Oh, we missed the beginning stages there of Levy's return, but Chicago catches a big break there, And Sioux Falls offense going to have to wait a little longer.
Yeah, we talked about limiting mistakes, and so far Sioux Falls is +1.
King flips it outside. Corey Carter, pass caught, just shy of the first down marker to the 33-yard line. Charles, I love how this Wildcats offense uses and utilizes a lot of different weapons in this passing game.
Yeah, a lot of different weapons. Maybe they'll throw a little wrinkle in here that Sioux Falls isn't expecting. Maybe toss it a little bit more to their tight end, Varner.
2nd and inches at the 33. 90 seconds into this one. And already a turnover, a fumble from A.J. Levy on the punt return. As King on 2nd and short will flip it out to Odom.
Nice
and Levy
tackle.
was ready for it. Loss of 3 on the play for Chicago, and that drops him also outside of field goal range, and it will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Levy's got a little adrenaline in him after that fumble, and he's trying to make up for it, and he did well on that play.
There's a look at Levy as Sioux Falls defense may start to get a little winded here if they can't get off the field. King's in trouble, going to go down. The Sioux Falls defense steps up, and on back-to-back 3rd downs, Lennox Sanders collects a sack.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's causing some problems for that offensive line. They're going to need to go back there and maybe put some extra blocking in.
So how about that? A.J. Levy fumbles, and Chicago can't take advantage. Sometimes, Charles, we see these storylines develop early, and it can really mean a lot to the mentality of a team, and they can't take advantage like that.
Yeah, what a playoff team does is they overcome their mistakes. You saw the mistake on special teams. The defense came up, and they've got the special teams back. They were able to get the ball back, and now it's in the past.
So 8:14 left in the first quarter, and we get our first look at Julian Tyree. Tyree has been tremendous this season, 3,544 yards. He's 4th in the SFL in passing, only behind Caswell, Christensen, and Dunhill, the latter 2 in the postseason, as Tyree's pass is flipped outside and caught by number 88, Robert Garrett Jr., for a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, Tyree might hit 32,000 yards tonight. He's at 31,731, so big game by him, and he's moving up.
Last time Sioux Falls missed the playoffs was season 9. The Sparrows, a regular playoff participant, and they missed it at 6-6. So it's not like Sioux Falls had a terrible season as Hart takes the carry and picks up a couple. They finished 9-3 in season 10. Had a really strong season then, and they've been a contender ever since the franchise came into the league.
Yeah, let's see what they do with Hart tonight. I mean, typically you use him more on the pass side, maybe a little pass heavy, but maybe they'll mix it up a little bit tonight and give him the ball a little bit more.
3rd and 4 at the 26 as Tyree flips it outside to Hart, and Colin Hart's got a first down. Charles, this team uses Hart a lot in the passing game. He really hasn't gotten a ton of carries as of late, though, on the ground.
Yeah, not a ton of carries, like we said. A lot of swing passes and short passes, and he capitalizes on it. I mean, I think he's leading the league in number of receptions.
1st and 10 at the 32, 6:50 to go in the first quarter. 4 receivers for Tyree in a scoreless game. The last game of the SFL regular season. Hart will get the flip out, and A.J. Barnes was ready for it. A 5-yard loss back to the 27.
Yeah, it's almost like he knew that was going to happen before the snap. He was 5 yards into the backfield, and there was no chance Hart was going to take it anywhere.
6:23 to go in the first. 2nd and 15 for Tyree. Ball at the 27-yard line. And Tyree flips it outside to Hart, and Hart lost 1. Going to bring up a 3rd and 16.
Yeah, it didn't give him a lot of room to operate there on that pass. Had to get it to him a little bit earlier so he could turn up the field earlier and stay in bounds.
All right, first gut check for Sioux Falls offense of the night. They've moved the ball decently here on their first possession, but now face a 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's hard to do against this secondary Chicago.
Riley Porter and A.J. Warren, neither have been targeted so far tonight. They're split out wide, and they're going Porter's direction. The pass is caught despite the big hit by Maurice Spurgeon. That pass is caught for a gain of 22, and Porter's got a first down to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, that was a great pass. I think Porter is Tyree's number one target. He just threw it in a whole ambush of Wildcats there, and he was able to get the first down.
About halfway through the quarter, Chicago's already had 2 offensive possessions after the A.J. Levy fumble, but could do nothing. Got sacked on both those third downs. Tyree flips it out to Hart now. Hart's got a man running at him, and that is number 28 in the slot, Brandon Vesey, making the play.
Yeah, it seems like the Chicago defense is expecting that swing pass a little, and they've been waiting for it the last couple times they've thrown it.
Second down at the 48. 4 receivers, 3 to the right of Tyree, ball on the hash mark. Hart in the backfield. Hart will get the toss on 2nd and 10. Chicago ready there, ready and waiting for it once again. Ron Hoff and Greg Gaines combined for the tackle. And for the first time, we can officially announce tonight, Charles, that we will be in Baltimore. The Baltimore Vultures host the Alaska Storm in the 6-3 matchup of the quarterfinals, Tuesday, October 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, right here on 11. As Tyree will drop to throw, fire a wobbler, and it's intercepted by Maurice Spurgeon at the Chicago 27-yard line. And Chicago forces the second turnover of the ball game. We'll talk about turnover differential when we come back. No score in a game that means everything to Chicago, Houston, and more. We're back to the Thunderdome after this. Charles, human error is a real crappy part of life. And actually, we'll be in Seattle as the Tyrants will take on the Storm in the 6-3 matchup. Same time, Tuesday, October 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
Just a little different on the compass.
Yeah, just a little bit differently. And again, we'll put that up. We'll put that up for you again. Seattle and Alaska in a wonderful 6-3 ball game. I can't wait to see what the 3-time champs are going to do on the road.
I was told going into this to never correct the commissioners, so I just watched it and I thought you knew better.
Well, that's why just now you sort of hushed yourself. Very, very quiet voice.
I sat on my hands.
Hey, when I make that type of mistake, you can most certainly correct me. But thanks to the chat, TMG82 in particular, the Baltimore running back, getting all over me for that as the Vultures clinched a first-round bye as Nick Fargo makes the tackle. No gain, it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it's going to be hard running up the middle on Parker and Fargo. They just like their counterparts on the Chicago defense. They're tackling machines, and they really let the running back get by them in the middle.
So 3rd and 10 at the 27, 4:03 to go in the first. 4 receivers for Chicago, and the last 2 times on 3rd and long, King was sacked, and this time Carter's going to go backwards. So in the first quarter, Charles, Chicago's had 3 third downs, and all of them they've lost yardage.
And they've had turnovers that they haven't capitalized on.
That's true, too. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat as they are pointing out further errors in our visuals. That's boy, they don't let you miss a beat. And if you want to join the SFL's game day chat, you can tune into twitch.tv/simulationfl. And hey, let's talk about the other quarterfinal and see what we can get out of that. Mexico City hosts, well, that says wild card too. Mexico City hosts Tallahassee in the quarterfinal Tuesday, October 15th, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and that's a rematch of a game, Charles, that we had just a couple of nights ago.
Still recovering from that one.
1st and 10 at the 44. 3:23 to go in the first quarter. As Tyree will drop to throw. Tyree firing it deep down the field. It's intercepted again.
Wow.
The third turnover for Sioux Falls, and this one is picked off by Jesse Vick.
Wow. Yeah, that was right into coverage there. That the wide receiver wasn't open at all. Not sure why he made that throw. That was dangerous.
Sioux Falls, I have seen plenty of Sparrow games as of late. Sioux Falls has thrown a ton of picks on that post corner route to Riley Porter. We have seen that time and time again, and if they end up missing the playoffs, Charles, it might be because of all those picks on those corner post corners.
Both defensive squads has a lot of picks. I did the numbers before the game, and they were both at 22. The whole secondary, so they're deadlocked. Both teams.
No!
Oh no!
Ash Odom is down. Odom is down, ladies and gentlemen, and that is a huge loss if he's done for the day. A critical piece on this Chicago offense.
Well, Freddie Fox is going to have to step up, and hopefully it's only for a short amount of time.
That's, I believe he's on Sioux Falls.
Oh, sorry.
But
sorry.
It would be Enrico Bovino making the play. You know.
No, we're 1-1. We're 1-1.
That's right. Well, technically, I'm 2-1.
No,
we gotta stop this. This is the
mercy.
regular season has taken a toll on us. I think, Charles. This is our was this our 15th game together, something like that this season. 2nd and 10 at the 32. The handoff goes to Bovino, gets nothing. 3rd and long again, and this could end up being a defensive slugfest here, as Sioux Falls can't seem to stop turning the ball over, and Chicago can't seem to move the ball.
Yeah, the runs up the middle, I think, are going to be aren't going to be too successful, as we said before. Parker and Fargo, they locked that down pretty well.
3rd down at the 32. 5 receivers, empty backfield for King. King gonna throw, going long. It's caught.
Oh wow!
Caught by number 89, J.C. Torres for a 1st down to the 37-yard line of Sioux Falls. I think their first move of the change of the night, perhaps.
Yeah, and that might be the longest play of the game as well. I mean, he was wide open. He got behind the defenders, and great pass by King.
Houston is hoping for a Chicago win tonight. A Chicago win tonight would mean that Houston would make the playoffs. They would come to Chicago, where they just beat the Wildcats 3 weeks ago. That started the Houston winning streak. They won that game by a point, and I'm not sure if Chicago would necessarily prefer that matchup or not, but that's a 2-yard loss as Jose Fuentes continues to make a living in the backfield.
Yeah, I think the linebackers of the Sparrows are saying, yeah, just keep running it up the middle. We want more of that.
Under 2 to play, 2nd and 12. 3 receivers, 2 in the backfield. Handoff Bovino. He cannot see the hole like Odom can. Only a gain of a yard. 3rd and 11, and I have a feeling, Charles, if Chicago's going to end up winning this game, they're going to need to rely on the arm of E.T. King. They might be in 3rd and long a lot tonight. This is already their 4th 3rd and 10 plus.
Well, this is a good test for them going into the playoffs to see how they overcome some adversity.
4 in the back, or 4 receivers for Chicago. As King looking down the middle.
Whoa!
It's picked by Levy at the 14-yard line.
Oh, my gosh.
It has been a mess of a first quarter for both of these offenses. You think maybe a little nerves out there tonight, Charles, as Levy does it again, gets one back for the Sparrows, and we'll come back to Chicago in a scoreless first quarter, looking for the game's first points. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports, presented by APM Music. Welcome back to the Thunderdome in Chicago, Illinois. No score between Sioux Falls and Chicago. Deep ball, Porter,
look at that.
wide open,
Holy
50.
mackerel.
Riley Porter to the Chicago 46-yard line. Barnes saved the touchdown. Biggest play of the night for Sioux Falls.
Yeah, when you need a big play, get it to your number one wide receiver, Riley Porter. He got behind the secondary there. Great throw. And maybe we'll get some points on the board here. So far, it's been the defenses slapping around the offenses.
So Porter able to get something moving downfield for Sioux Falls. Still haven't seen much out of Colin Hart, and this could end up being a throw it down the field crazy game if these offenses can start clicking.
Yep.
These two teams could be poised for a late second half shootout. 3 in the backfield for Tyree. Tyree going to hand it off to Hart, and Colin Hart spins right in to a mess of gray, black, and orange. Ash Odom has a pinched nerve in his neck.
Oh, my
and is
gosh.
reported to be done
Wow.
for the night. And we have seen players come back every now and again from injury unexpectedly, but that is a huge loss for Chicago.
Yeah, definitely.
And also a huge loss for Houston and their playoff chances. The handoff goes to Hart, and Hart is stuffed. Only got 3 as VC and number 98, Paul Spears, combine on the stop. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter of play. A scoreless first quarter. 3 quarters left in the SFL regular season. We'll find out who gets the last playoff spot next on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports, is brought to you by APM Music Production Music Library and Custom Music House, and also by Fuel Beyond the Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official design company of the SFL, and by Media Tech Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots of tonight's game is provided by AirViews. Visit AirViews, AIRVUZ.com for more drone footage. Start of the second quarter in Chicago, no score. But Sioux Falls is driving to the Wildcat 41, moving from right to left on your television screen in the white with black helmets. Chicago in the gray helmets, gray pants, and the black jerseys. Tyree back to throw, fires it, and it's picked again.
Oh, man.
Maurice Spurgeon again.
Wow. Unbelievable. They're taking some shots here, the quarterbacks, and they're throwing it in the wrong area. And Spurgeon has his 4th interception of the year.
And for Tyree, that's 2 against Spurgeon. Vic has 1. Is that 4 interceptions or 3 with a fumble?
I think it's 4.
That would be 5 turnovers on 5 possessions in the first half for Sioux Falls as the handoff goes to Bovino, and he picks up 5.
All right.
What a bizarre first half.
Bovino stepping up there. We also got the rookie Alex Perez back there. Let's see if maybe they get the fullback involved a little bit as well.
2nd and 5 at the 40. $10:25 to go in the first half. Flip it outside. Bovino got 1 block, but slam. I tell you what, A.J. Levy from his strong safety position is coming up and defending those flats like, just beautiful play.
Yeah, he's on a mission tonight. He wants everybody to forget that special teams play. And so far, that I got to stop bringing it up.
Well, yeah, it's almost like it lit a fire under him a little bit. 3rd and 4 at the 41-yard line. Handoff, Bovino. Bovino got the first
Look at
down.
him go.
Tackle by Nick Fargo, his 2nd, but what a gutsy call. I don't think Sioux Falls was expecting it.
No, not at all. But, I think Bovino's got a better yard per carry than Odom did. Odom was getting lit up at the line.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. So 9:32 to go in the first half. 3 in the backfield for King. And look at Sioux Falls all over the line. They're going to stuff it down their throats to Bovino. Pick-up of 3. Not a bad look there. Fuentes in there again on the stop. He is an animal.
Yeah, both of these defenses they're great to watch. They fly to the ball, great tacklers, and cause a lot of turnovers.
9 minutes to go in a scoreless first half. A surprisingly scoreless first half as Sioux Falls tries to get into the playoffs. They are in with a win tonight. If they lose, Houston is in and bumps Tulsa up to the 9 spot. That means that the Desperados would go to Atlanta. If Sioux Falls wins, Sioux Falls would go to Atlanta, and Tulsa would come here to Chicago.
So now we got big 3rd and 7 here. Let's see how they do this here against this dangerous secondary.
Pass, far side to J.C. Torres. That's going to be short. But again, Charles, another 3rd and long for Chicago. They just can't seem to get out of these 3rd and long situations, and they'll have to punt it away again. And I got to say, Charles, I don't think I've ever seen a team get 5 straight takeaways and end up with no points, and especially win the ball game. That's a recipe for disaster.
One of the only knocks you could have on the Chicago Wildcats offense this season is they were last in the league on 3rd down conversions.
That's a good stat right there, and the ball rolls into the end zone. And going back to the team comparison, Charles, just to piggyback off of that, Sioux Falls is 18th in turnover differential. For a team that's 5-6, that's pretty poor. Chicago is number 1, and they continue that trend tonight. But offensively, they're 12th in points per game, and the offense really starting to lag here towards the tail end of this season.
Yeah, they haven't. Their wins, they haven't put up a lot of points. I mean, the margin of victory has been pretty small, but they got a winning record. So here we are.
1st and 10 at the 20, 7:50 to go. Tyree play fake to Hart, rolls back into the pocket, nearly sacked, now dumps it off to Hart. Hart's going the wrong way, and then Hart ends up picking up 1. What a wacky-looking play there. Tyree does have 3 interceptions, so 3 picks for Tyree and a fumble from Levy. 4 turnovers on Sioux Falls' first 4 possessions.
Yeah, keep an eye on Blake Craze, number 96. He's 10 tackles behind Tank Bennett for the lead in the league, so he might be able to get that if he keeps playing as he's
That's
been.
Solo tackles, right?
Yeah.
I think in total tackles, Craze and Bennett have been jostling 1 and 2 as A.J. Warren's got the first down up to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, rare first down. Let's keep the ball moving. Let's get some points on the board.
Jason 1347, who Is the coach in Sioux Falls says the other way, referencing Colin Hart's play on first down. Shout-outs to Jay Fuentes, 21, Ghibli Do, AJ Pick 6, Jason 1347, Syndicate, Denver Nightwings, Kanye Rockefeller, Tackle Saint, Udoncha, and Eddie Gage, Mighty RX, many others in the SFL chats. They are all players, coaches, owners in this league as Tyree's pass is caught down the field. A bit of a wobbler, but once again, Sioux Falls able to cross the other side of the 50. Robert Jr. once again.
Get that tight end involved. He's a big man, 6'7", 268, man. He's not thrown to a whole heck of a lot, but he's one of the least targeted on the offense, but he's pretty effective when they throw it to him.
Man, that thing was honking like a goose down the field.
Honking like a goose.
That was...
How does that go? How would
Nope. You can't, I almost did it. You cannot peer pressure.
You were thinking about it.
First and 10 at the Chicago 39. Hart on a shotgun counter, and that doesn't work. Blake Craze makes the tackle, and you brought it up earlier. Coming into the week, Blake Craze, who has been leading the league for much of the season, 144 total tackles. He was 4 ahead of Bennett, but Bennett had a tremendous game earlier this week against St. Louis.
Yeah, on that play there, they had a whole band of Wildcats that were waiting for the running back. There's no way he was going to get any yards.
2nd and 11 at the Chicago, 46:05 to go in a scoreless first half. Hart back to pass. Hart will flip it, Tyree back to pass, flips it out to Hart, and Hart breaks a couple tackles before he's run down. Once again, just outside of field goal range at 36, A.J. Barnes on the tackle.
Yeah, I needed a little bit more blocking downfield to make that into a bigger play. He had one lineman out there that was doing a good job, but the other guys weren't in place in time.
3rd and 6 at the 36-yard line for Sioux Falls. Critical play. Tyree looking Hart's direction. Got a block. Colin Hart.
Look at that.
Oh, what a block down the field. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was a block right.
Big number 74 out there. Got to get another look at that replay.
Oh, my gosh.
That was Joey Holt. Look at this. Left of your screen.
Look at that.
Woo!
Bam.
Didn't end up resulting in anything meaningful in the play, but
it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch.
Did you see Tyree stand in that pocket there? The walls were starting to crumble, and he didn't look like he was sweating at all. He hung in there and was able to get the ball out.
Yeah, he stood tall. Nice play. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. 5:02 to go in the first half. Split backs Tyree, fires it outside. That pass is caught. And Jesse
Look at all
Vick,
those tacklers. Oh, my gosh.
Wraps him up a 6-yard
wow.
pickup.
Holy mackerel.
That catch hauled in by J.J. McGee, the backup tight end.
Yeah, they're showing that if you try that play on Chicago, there's going to be a battery of defenders waiting for him.
At the 22-yard line, boy, Sioux Falls, this is a blood-sucking drive here. Tyree, play fake. Fires middle again. Hart dropped it. Hart, the last time he had that, just 1 yard on the pickup, and now it's going to result in 3rd down. And, boy, this second quarter's gotten away from us. It feels like it started about 8 minutes ago, and it's all gone now.
Light speed.
Cannot believe this. I think this is the longest a game's been scoreless this season. This is wild.
Two great defenses.
3 in the backfield for Sioux Falls. Trying to get the first points up on the board tonight. The handoff goes to Hart, running left, and Hart is smashed down by Clint Hendershot for minimal gain, if any, and it'll result in a Sioux Falls field goal.
Wow, he's the second leading tackler on the team, and they rely on him and Craze to keep that running back from the second level.
This is a 38-yard field goal for Maxwell Falk, signed in Week 8. And to try to get the first points up on the board tonight, Falk's field goal is good. He did it, Charles.
Here we go.
We have broken the scoreless
The
tie.
seal is broken. Look out.
That's right. Look out for more points. And as we get one more look at Falk's made kick, we're going to take a short break down the middle.
See how high that was. Wow.
The Sparrows lead the Wildcats a win, and they're in. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports. 3:53 to go in the first half. Sioux Falls leads 3-0. And Chicago, without Ash Odom in the ball game, will get the ball back. Corey Carter to the 28-yard line. Without Bovino, Charles, how does Chicago avoid these third and long situations they've been putting themselves in?
Well, I mean, they've got a stable of receivers out there to throw it to. They need to spread it around a little bit. I mean, I think you got to keep handing it off to Bovino, but then can't forget your wide receivers. You got to balance it out.
1st and 10 at the 28. 3:49 to go in the first half. 3 receivers, hand off Bovino. Bovino puts his head down and gets 3 before Levy comes up to make yet another tackle.
He's a man possessed.
And you might think that the Wildcats might need some special teams help out of Corey Carter. I don't believe he's had a return touchdown this season. Has gotten close a couple of times. But going to be interesting how Chicago can make up for Odom's absence. King going long on a free play. Caught by Shan Varner.
Wow.
Hey, how about that? They could sure use some more Shan Varner tonight.
Get some Shan involved in there. You know, you want to throw it to that 6'6" tight end. I mean, you can throw the ball way up there and let him jump for it.
The flag is on Tyrone Black. And we'll get another look at this beautiful pitch and catch to Varner.
Look at that.
Levy all over him.
It was, but, when you're it's 6'6" against 6'1".
So the Wildcats now at the Sparrow 49-yard line, trying to make some noise on this drive. 2 in the backfield and 7 in the box for Sioux Falls. King gonna throw quickly outside. J.C. Torres picks up 7. And if you are interested in getting involved in the SFL, you do know, maybe you don't, that you can become a player in the league and get picked up in the rookie draft Saturday, December 14th, live from 11 Sports. The first round in the season preview is just after the holidays. We will kick off our 14th season, Charles.
Wow, it's amazing.
So the 14th season rookie draft will be on 12/14. And on a 2nd down and 3 here for Chicago, that clock continues to tick down. 3 in the backfield for King. Handoff to Bovino. Bovino's got a first down and gets 7 yards before Levy has to clean up the mess from the rest of his defenders once again.
Look out. Ground Bovino.
What I've liked seeing out of Chicago here recently, Charles, is a lot of inside runs, easy runs for Bovino. Doesn't have to read a lot of holes, just get on up there and plow forward. And the linebacker's not getting it done for the Sparrows. King steps up in the pocket, hit as he threw. The pass is caught over the middle. An 8-yard gain to Buchanan Simons, and that's check that. That's to number 87.
Trevor Driver.
Trevor Driver, thank you. We've reached the 2-minute warning. We got a lot going on here. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Chicago scoreless, but on the best drive of the night. We're back to Illinois after this. Second down and 2 at the 27-yard line for Sioux Falls. 2 in the backfield for Chicago. 4-3 for the Sparrows. Bovino got crushed this time. And finally, Sioux Falls able to read where Bovino was going. Alex Parker makes the stop. But still, I think Bovino leads all running backs in yards here tonight so far.
Definitely. You know, maybe the offensive line of Chicago is pumped up to help the new guy.
1:38 left. All 3 timeouts for the Wildcats. 7 in the box for Sioux Falls. King flips it outside. Caught. J.C. Torres. First down of the 23. King is 10 of 13 for 80 yards. And doesn't it feel like, Charles, if Chicago can get a touchdown here, The defense is playing good enough to where they might be able to hold on to that for the rest of the night.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of get the feel that Chicago's trying to soften them up a little bit and then maybe go downfield for a big bomb.
3 receivers out in the pattern. Simons at the bottom of the screen, guarded by Terrell Davis of Sioux Falls. Another offside for the Sparrows. And Alex Parker, you could see him coming from a mile away, tracks down Bovino and gets the stop, but the penalty will help make this 1st and 5 for the Wildcats and stop the clock once more.
Yeah, Bovino ripped off another 5 there.
He's making it happen.
Yep.
He is making it happen here and playing well with Ash Odom out of the ball game.
I'm trying to think of things that rhyme with Bovino. Supremo?
Burrito?
Oh, there you go. Well, you put that in a sentence.
Hey, yeah. I'll try. I'll do my best. 1st and 5 at the 18-yard line. 1:26 to go in the first half. And King flips it outside. Bovino inside the 15 and smacked. You are tracking Alex Parker all the way down the field, just shy of the first down.
Bam!
Oh, man, like a laser, as Andrew Rosselli would say. If you have not seen our vlog of the most recent SFL convention, you can visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/simulationfl, to see the full footage in all its glory. Under a minute to go in the first half. King drops to throw into the end zone.
Oh, my
he
gosh.
dropped it.
Oh, my God.
Shan Varner hit from behind. King wanted a flag, or maybe he just wanted Varner to catch the ball. Let's get another look at it.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Man,
went
he
up in
got
the air,
up
and
for that.
he went way up in
Watch
the air to
this.
pull that down. Look at that.
Woo.
Yeah.
His foot was almost at the head of Barnhart, who ended up making the excellent.
I thought he had it for a second there.
Man, love the play call, though. 2nd and
Yep.
inches, take a shot to the end zone, and if you don't get it, you can run it to Bovino here. And they've got a heavy package out there. Everybody's stacked up for Sioux Falls. They're going to throw it.
Oh, wow.
Out to Bovino.
Bovino.
Got the block
There he
needed.
goes.
And Bovino's got the first down to the 11, but there's only 45 seconds left, and Chicago's going no huddle. Do they have anything else out of this formation?
They have a timeout.
They do, but they're not using it. They go out to Bovino.
Bovino. Oh.
Nothing. And now they'll take the timeout. That was wise because Bovino getting a little gas.
Yeah, he needs to get some air.
Wow, 3-0 towards the end of the first half. And with 32 seconds left.
They're going
King.
for it. Oh.
Yep, he sure is. Out of the gun. Back to pass.
Oh,
In
he's
trouble.
got- oh, what the
that
heck
looks
was
like a hold. Oh, it's caught. It was in bounds. They said
That
it was
was in bounds.
incomplete.
That was odd.
The booth has to review that, and while they're reviewing that, they can take a look at the holding call.
Yeah, I
the Sparrow
know.
got just completely ripped down.
He did. He had a clear path to the quarterback.
If they end up reviewing this and overturning this, Sioux Falls is going to be clamoring for, hey, that was a hold there.
Definitely.
We're not going to get a good look at the hold on the replay, but Shan Varner, what a throw. Oh, his
no,
first
he was
foot.
out. Yeah, wow.
The first foot looked out of bounds.
Yep.
On that second look. And they're going to overturn the call. No.
No. Oh, my gosh. I thought they were going to. Yep.
I could have sworn they were.
Wow.
Wow. What?
Unbelievable.
I don't think I've ever seen a reversal in that instance that way. I think Shan's just as confused as we were.
Yep, definitely.
Wow. Now, I think at the end of the day, they got the right call, and justice was served off that horrific holding call. Now 3rd and 9 at the 10. King's pass to the end zone. Oh, what a catch. It's a touchdown. J.C. Torres and Chicago's on top.
That was awesome. What a pass.
That was the most perfect pass of the night by either team. Check out this play again, a top 5 play of the week, no doubt.
Perfect all the time in the world. Threw it way up there for the receiver to get. Oh, my God. Great route, great pass, great blocking all around.
And definitely got 2 feet in.
Wow, that was the fifth touchdown there for Mr. Torres.
That drive was stressful. I mean, Chicago really squeaked that one out, but they did not face a 3rd and long the entire drive except for that very last play. On the 3rd and 9, E.T. King gets it done. The extra point for Chicago is good. And keep in mind, if Chicago wins this ball game, they will host the Houston Hyenas, who have won 3 in a row. They would be the first team to make the playoffs at 5-7 since season 10.
They are hot.
And Houston has beaten Chicago, Alaska, and Mexico City all in the last 3 weeks. It has been intense.
Yeah, those hyenas bite.
Man, that would be a crazy game. Chicago and Houston have actually met. I believe they met in the playoffs once before. That was a couple of seasons back. Chicago's also played Tulsa, who they would play if Sioux Falls happens to win this game tonight as well. Tulsa, Houston, and Chicago all go way back. These coaching trees really blossoming in the SFL.
Definitely. Not a lot of time here for Sioux Falls. Let's see what they do.
So 19 seconds to go in the first half. This has been a tense and exciting contest as with split backs, Tyree fires it out, and McGee. No, that's the eligible left tackle.
Holy
Tim
mackerel.
Freeman trying to make the play, and he has hands of stone.
322 pounds of hands.
Or 0 pounds of hands, depending upon how you want to look at it.
He had too many. I didn't know which one to use.
What? Is left, right?
Up, down?
How do I do this? There's no defensive lineman in front of me. I don't know what I'm doing. 15 seconds left for Sioux Falls. They are now down 4 without Ash Odom for Chicago. Tyree in trouble. He's going to go down for a sack, and that will likely end the first half. A 6-yard loss and the first sack of the night for the Wildcats. Bringing him down was Paul Spears, and that takes us to halftime. Sioux Falls 3 and Chicago 7. And the Wildcats holding on, and Houston just, biting their nails. Charles, for people that are watching tonight for the first time, or maybe for the first time this week, the Houston Hyenas were 2-7. They have fought all the way back. 3 wins in a row against all odds. For this scenario to take place, Charles, it would mean that 6 teams would end the season at 5-7 in the SFL.
That's crazy.
And Houston would win the tiebreaker amongst those 6 teams. It is an absolutely wild and wacky scenario. When the week started, there were 1,024 possible scenarios. And who would have thought that this one would still be on the table? As A.J. Levy returns from the 10-yard line, we'll get past the 30. A.J. Levy is gone. G-O-N-E.
Mackerel.
See you later. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
Wow. that was a Hall of Fame kickoff return right there. That's his second of the year. I believe that's his 6th all-time touchdown for a kickoff return.
Man, and
unbelievable.
Just as I was talking about Houston having all this hope, all these hopes and dreams, A.J. Levy puts them down.
Yep.
And Levy had open grass past the 50, right up the middle.
Yeah, when he gets in that open field, there's nobody's going to touch him.
What's going on with me and you calling games with kickoff returns here?
I know, jeez.
What's the story? My, oh my, Sunday night we had Jeffrey Daggs get his 2nd kickoff return touchdown of the game on the first play of overtime. Mexico City won that game 40-34.
He had 2 that game. That was his 3rd, wasn't it?
Well, he almost had the pick 6. That would have been his 3rd. He got tackled at the 1, if you recall. That was just a couple nights ago.
Yeah, I'm not going up against Cam. I know better than that.
He had 2 that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said something different than that. You put something in my water, didn't you?
Something's in the Crystal Mountain water of SFL headquarters. Don't know about that one. Corey Carter, I do know he'll be back to return the next kickoff. I tell you what, burn this tape. From the 10, Carter on the return, 25, 30. Corey Carter up to the 33-yard line. And Chicago's just got to shake it off and bounce back. We didn't even get a chance to talk about we were unable to talk about halftime.
Yeah,
that
was fast.
And jumped quickly into the second half. This game is flying by. I think
I was going to go make a ham sandwich. Didn't have time for that.
I think the football gods want to see some playoff action. They're pushing us closer and closer by the second.
Yeah, that was a really great drive, though, that Chicago had at the end of that first half.
3 receivers, 2 to the right. King back to pass. King will fire it outside. That pass is incomplete. Looked like Simons dragged a foot. They're going to say otherwise. It's been a oddly officiated game as well so far.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like we're seeing a little more passing on the Chicago side, and maybe not as much Bovino, but the first half he was Supremo.
Wow,
Thank you.
You found a way. I was waiting to use a burrito in the broadcast, but you beat me. You beat me to the punch with the rhyme there. 2nd and 10 at the 33-yard line. 10:40 to go in the third quarter, and they're going to throw it out to Bovino. Needs to make a man miss, and he will not do it. And that is the difference between an Ash Odom and an Enrico Bovino. Levy now with 7 solo tackles already in the ball game, and here we are again, 3rd and long.
Yeah, he doesn't have the speed to turn upfield, and those fast linebackers on the Sparrows are going to get him.
Now empty backfield, 5 wide. King's got to be careful here. He's been sacked twice on 3rd and longs tonight, partly because of the lack of blocking help, and King has all day to throw this time, going down the field, one-on-one coverage, and Torres gets that ball knocked away by Barnhart, and then Barnhart able to make the insurance tackle, and Chicago's going to have to punt, and Sioux Falls is starting to put the clamps down here.
Yeah, great coverage by the secondary, too. I mean, you mentioned the offensive line of Chicago and inability to protect the quarterback, but also he's not being able to find the people downfield with the great coverage from the Sparrows.
So Chicago will punt it away. And, boy, Sioux Falls was coming after that one. They just miss it. Levy standing at his 26-yard line. Breaks a tackle. Gets out to the 30. And, hey, Charles, our graphics department, they fixed the graphics.
Oh, wow.
From the first half. Thank you, guys. Seattle will host Alaska in the first round. That will begin quarterfinal play. Tuesday the 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. That is going to be one heck of a ball game. Seattle's first playoff game since the team moved. And these two teams, despite their close proximity to one another, did not play each other in the regular season. So we're going to get a first-time matchup in the playoffs as Tyree dumps it short, and Blake Gray's nearly got the interception.
Wow.
He's had picks 2 straight weeks.
Oh, my gosh. That was dangerous again.
9:50 left in the third quarter as these two teams go back and forth. Don't let the score fool you. Chicago needed about 12 plays to get their first touchdown, and Sioux Falls got theirs on a kickoff return a few minutes ago.
Yeah, Colin Hart's been pretty quiet. They haven't let him do anything on the outside. Haven't been running him up the middle that much as well either.
4 receivers. Tyree to throw again. Tyree out to Hart. Got a block. Hart, 34.
Oh,
Hart
nice.
Gets to the 42-yard line, first down. That's an advantage Sioux Falls has that Chicago does not tonight, and Hart's up to 9 catches. Only 27 yards.
Yeah, you see how quickly when he gets that ball, how he turns upfield and starts his dancing.
That was definitely his most successful reception of the night. Chicago's been ready for that swing pass.
He's hard to bring down though when he gets in that into that extra gear.
1st and 10 at the 42. 9:40 to go in the third quarter. Another tight game here on the final night of the regular season. 4 receivers. Tyree to throw. Fires it outside to Hart. And look at that.
Yep.
What a hit for Chicago. Ron Hoff, signed in Week 8,
Wow.
obliterates Hart in the backfield.
Yep, speed kills, and it showed on that play. You see how fast they got to that running back. Oh, my gosh.
And for those that are watching for the first time, this is the first controllerless esport in the world. These teams watch film like nobody's business. This is a football strategy league, and don't you forget it. And Chicago has watched a ton of film. It is clear as day on this swing pass offense. A.J. Warren, nice catch. Maurice Spurgeon gives him a shove after the play, but Warren says, I don't care, I got the ball.
He just barely hit his fingertips, and Warren was able to bring that in. What a catch.
8:45 to go in the third. Jason McGee in the chat saying overdoing that play, not liking all the flip outs to Hart. Got another one. Colin Hart, nowhere to go. Wrapped up by A.J. Barnes, only a 2-yard pickup. And Chicago's defense keeping them in the game. Sioux Falls still outside of field goal range.
Yeah, they're locking down those swing passes on the side, and they're going to have to mix it up a little bit because they're getting a little predictable on offense.
11 catches, 28 yards. That's more than he's got carries tonight. As Sioux Falls is protecting a 3-point lead, Ash Odom getting hurt at the worst possible time. As Tyree going deep back, and everybody down the field, and Robert Garrett Jr. makes the catch to the Chicago 31-yard line. Stellar play by Tyree, a perfect throw.
Perfect throw by Tyree, and old reliable Garrett. He's not too old; he's a rookie. But like I said at the beginning of the game, he rarely drops the ball when you throw it to him, and I'm happy that they're getting him a little more involved in the game plan.
8 minutes to go in the third. Sioux Falls up by 3. If the Sparrows win, they are in and will head to Atlanta in the wild card round. 4 receivers. Tyree to throw. Tyree going long. Tyree's pass. Oh, dangerous ball. I love Warren's heart, though. He gave it all he had on that play.
Yeah, that was dangerous. He threw it into a bevy of Wildcats.
Now, don't think I haven't noticed, just because I haven't brought it up, that you are back on the description game of these mascots.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is your calling card, good sir. I don't know how you do it. You must have a Post-it note somewhere over there with all of them written down. It's impossible that you don't.
It's right next to my ham sandwich.
2nd and 10 at the 31-yard line. Somebody get Charles a ham sandwich. Hart receives that pass, although that was kind of a check down.
Yep.
Nothing open, and it'll set up 3rd and 6. Sioux Falls, though, has quietly matriculated into field goal range.
Yep, definite matriculation we saw there on the field. Big 3rd and 6. It's dangerous. It looks like the secondary settling in, and it's almost like they've got a half step in front of the offenders.
Doug Day wants to know with cheese.
Melted.
No, not with cheese. Oh, this is a flip out to Hart. He's got a lot of running room, but nothing is in front of him as Barnes shuts it down from behind, and it looked like Barnes may have been hurt on that play. I think
he got up.
Right.
Wow.
Stephen Hacker made it home. He was here in studio watching Queen City and Baltimore, the game before us. That was a heartbreaker, Charles. That was a tough pill to swallow. 34-30. Baltimore gets in. They get the number 2 seed in the first round bye and push Seattle down to the 3rd spot. This field goal from 42 yards is good for Sioux Falls. Queen City was eliminated in the last broadcast. Tulsa clinched a playoff spot. Will Houston be eliminated tonight, or will it be Sioux Falls? Still got a good ball game here. 13-7. It's anybody's game. Chicago gets the ball back next. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports. .651 to go in the third quarter. Sioux Falls 13, Chicago 7. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you. Corey Carter. Oh, man, he almost broke it. 6:46 left. If you are just joining us, breaking down the scenarios of tonight's game, this is the final game of the SFL regular season. If Sioux Falls wins, they are in. They will head to Atlanta in the 9-8 wild card matchup. And Tulsa will travel to Chicago in the first round. That wild card round is Saturday, October 12th. If Sioux Falls loses, Houston is in as the 10 seed. Bovino, like a burrito, straight up the middle, pickup of 5 to the 40. And if Houston would go to Chicago, and Tulsa would become the 9 seed and go to Atlanta. That is what is at stake tonight in the wild card.
Yeah, Bovino's been effective going up the middle. Not so much on the sides, but he's getting it done when they hand it to him off guard.
Denver Nightwings asked, when are the times for the number 1 and number 2 seed games? It's a 7 and 9:30. Wow, nice run from Bovino. It's a 7 and 9:30 slate on Wednesday, October 16th, but who is playing when will be determined after Saturday's wild card round. As Bovino, I tell you what, man, honestly, Charles, this has been their best offense. They need to just keep feeding him right up the middle.
North-south, just giving a north-south.
And look at 12 carries, 35 yards, not bad. But Chicago, against 3 really talented linebackers of Sioux Falls, has been unafraid. They are just running it right up the middle on the Sparrows. King going to throw, going long, middle, caught. J.C. Torres down to the Sioux Falls 31. That's a pickup of 22.
Yeah, what a pass. right in the middle. Looks like between 2 defenders. Let's see this on the replay.
This is a precise route from
Look at
Torres. Barnhart protecting the corner route. And if he throws that a second late, that's a pick.
Yep. Or early. I mean, he had to get it there right on time, and he did. Great job.
5.5 to go in the third. Buchanan Simons, who's been a bit quiet as of late, at the top of the screen with a little bit of cushion. Halfway through the third, Sioux Falls by 6. And here comes King. King going long. King.
Look at that.
Are
you kidding?
Touchdown, Shan Varner.
Shan Varner.
High game and a busted coverage for Sioux Falls.
Oh, somewhere Mike Daggs is jumping up and down. The tight end gets the touchdown. Wow, that's great. He was wide open, too. I guess they weren't expecting him to go deep like that.
And he just run a post route, and Fargo was out there in coverage. I don't know what Fargo's thinking. That's his assignment. He's got to pick. He's got to pick Varner up in the middle of the field there.
Yeah, definitely. I think they might have been looking for it. Well, I guess they went to it. It was an empty backfield. I was going to use a Bovino reference, but that fell flat.
And the chat is reacting to the touchdown. Wide open, says Ghibli Doo. The Tulsa Desperados clinching a playoff spot in the last hour. The extra point for Chicago will give them the lead, and the lead they have. Wildcats by a point. Playoff lives hang in the balance. We're back to Chicago in 30 seconds. .5:14 to go in the third quarter. Chicago leads Sioux Falls 14-13. 2 E.T. King touchdown passes are the difference here tonight. Levy almost broke it for another score. That's Sioux Falls' only offensive touchdown. Charles, Sioux Falls has not been good on the road. They have really struggled. They are electric at home, but on the road it's been a bit different story, especially against playoff teams.
Yep.
But they've shown up well tonight.
They've only won 1 game on the road, and Chicago, unfortunately for Sioux Falls, has won all of their games at home.
Well, Chicago on the road, I think, is unbeaten. They lost to Houston at home a couple of weeks ago, right?
But they're 2-3. Yeah, maybe not. I'm not going to argue with the comm.
5 minutes to go in the third. There's a look at the quarterback comparisons. 4:55 to go in the third quarter. As Charles and I get the divorce papers out and start filing. Not really. Best of friends.
I'm taking my ham sandwich with me.
4:40 to go in the third. Split backs for Sioux Falls. Tyree looking around. Nobody's open.
Oh, my gosh.
And Hendershot comes from behind Miles Portis and knocks that away. And, boy, that was great coverage for Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's they've been playing great defense. They've kept Sioux Falls out of the end zone. They've been making turnovers back there as well. It's really hard for Sioux Falls to get anything done on offense.
3rd and 7 at the 33. 4 receivers, 3 to the left side for Tyree. Tyree looking Hart's direction. This time he's got some room, but Hart's got to do it all himself. The blockers do nothing.
Nothing.
They just ran down the field. They left Hart stranded on an island, and Sioux Falls will have to punt it away, and somewhere far, far away, a bunch of Houston hyenas are cackling right now.
They're circling and cackling.
Wow. That's rough to see, Charles.
That is very rough.
That was a pretty decent play call for the situation, but they got to make the blocks.
Definitely.
It's a team game, is it not, Charles?
It's definitely a team game.
Punt is away. Carter makes 2 men miss.
Here we
Breaks
go.
a tackle.
Ah.
Corey Carter up to the 40-yard line. A tremendous punt return. And Chicago's really starting to feel some momentum, even with without Ash Odom, I should say, their star running back in the game.
So here we go. Let's see if we see more of that. They did a lot of passing last series. Maybe they'll settle down a little bit, and we'll see some more runs up the middle by Bovino.
3 receivers at the top of the screen. 6 in the box for Sioux Falls. Bovino just straight up the gut. He gets 4 more. This is probably one of the most surprising storylines of the last month, is the fact that Chicago is just hammering away 4 yards with their backup running back with a lead right now over Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is a good test for Chicago, and so far they're passing it. When one of their stars falls down, somebody else steps up.
2 in the backfield, 1 receiver, J.C. Torres, and the handoff goes to Bovino, and Bovino gets a few. 3rd and 3. And do you run it a 3rd straight time, or you try to hit him with a short pass?
I'd line up in a tight formation and then pass it, just to throw them off a little bit. I'm sure they're probably expecting a run.
2 in the backfield here. I think that's Simons at the top of the screen. And the handoff goes to... Oh, Bovino didn't get it, and he got hit.
See, they were waiting for it.
Right at the line of scrimmage. You're right, Charles.
They were halfway right.
They were waiting for it, and Lennox Sanders, who's had a tremendous night, has 2 sacks as well, makes the play, and Chicago quickly goes 3 and out after the excellent punt return from Corey Carter.
Well, the Sparrows defense, they stepped up on that one, and now we got to see if they can do the same on the offensive side. They got to put something on the board here.
Chicago punts it away. Levy at his 13-yard line goes nowhere, so Sioux Falls is going to be pinned back inside their own 15. It's a 1-point game. Drama on the final night of the SFL season always seems to come down that way. Sioux Falls on offense next. .224 to go in the 3rd quarter. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine on the regular season's final game. And that pass, a wobbler, eventually gets outside to J.J. McGee for a 9-yard pickup. Dangerous throw, but Tyree gets it done.
Yeah, dangerous throw, but they'll take a 2nd and 1 any day.
Absolutely, gotta start running the ball to Hart.
Definitely, yep.
I mean.
When was the last time we saw him go up the middle?
Golly, or any run for that matter. They might run it here. Three down linemen. 150 to go. Handoff Hart, and he didn't get the blocker.
Yep.
Had a blocker going down the field. Blake crazed with the tackle, but Sioux Falls offensively, they're just not executing in the 3rd quarter.
Yep, no, it's like they're a half step behind. And they're fighting for their playoff lives here, so someone's going to have to kick them in the butt.
The crowd rises to their feet in the Thunderdome. They're going to hand it off to Hart one more time. Got the block this time, first down, and shrugs off Clint Hender's shot to move the chains to the 29-yard line. Vic's 2nd tackle. but a strong run and a strong effort from Sioux Falls on third and
Yeah,
short.
very strong. Yeah, it was like night and day on the offensive line there. You saw him go down there and block, not only block, but hold the block so the running back can get some yardage.
If you're just joining us, wondering what is at stake tonight, if Sioux Falls wins, they are in the playoffs. They will be at Atlanta. That pass
was
is
dangerous.
knocked away. 2nd and 10. Nice play in the slot by Ron Hoff again.
Yeah, so he would have had the rookie run in the end zone if he had another hand on that.
Again, if Sioux Falls wins, they go to Atlanta. Tulsa will come to Chicago. Houston is eliminated. If Sioux Falls loses, Houston will come to Chicago, and Tulsa will head to Atlanta. Either way, incredibly compelling matchups that we will break down in the post-game here tonight, whatever they end up being. 56 seconds to go in the third. Tyree flips it outside to Hart. Oh, and Hart gets his face taken off. VC with the tackle for loss, and it's 3rd and 11.
No, yeah, that was that play didn't it didn't develop at all. I mean, it seemed like they didn't get to the ball where they needed to be. He didn't catch Hart didn't catch it right, and you got to be perfect on those throws with the speed of that defense.
Chicago protecting a 1-point lead. Sioux Falls does not have an offensive touchdown tonight. 4 wide, 2 to either side. Tyree back to pass. Tyree going down the middle of the field. The pass is intercepted by Spurgeon past the 35. Got a block.
Here
30.
we go.
Maurice Spurgeon, 2015, 10, 5, and the 1 yard line. We've seen that this week, too.
Oh my
Touchdown saving tackle.
Holy mackerel.
Made by Al Dillapre Sr., who was just signed over the last few weeks. But Spurgeon now has actually, I stand corrected. That was Greg Gaines. My apology, Greg. Making the play. That's Tyree's 4th interception of the night, and Chicago has all the momentum here down the stretch in the third quarter.
It looked like Gaines maybe lost some gas when he was getting near the goal line. He was going full speed, but it looked like he slowed down a little bit right there the last couple steps.
Oh, the chat is lively after that one, and could it be an Enrico Bovino touchdown? He'll get the handoff, and he'll walk it in. Bovino strikes, and Chicago's up 7.
Supremo.
That was the most subtle way to say Supremo after my call of the touchdown.
I thought you were gonna say Supremo.
I was sorry. I was not ready for the cool down effect.
Supremo.
Coming off the touchdown. Bovino makes Sioux Falls pay. Gets the touchdown with Ash Odom, who has a pinched nerve in his neck.
Wow.
Went out in the first quarter, and the Wildcats down 13-7 after the A.J. Levy kickoff return for a touchdown has now scored 14 unanswered points. And with that extra point, Chicago now takes an 8-point lead. Charles, it almost feels like the football gods somewhere just want Houston in the playoffs. I can't describe it. It just keeps falling their way no matter what gets in the way.
And all the other coaches in the SFL are like, please, we don't want to play them.
Yeah, come on, Sioux Falls. Keep them out. Keep them out. They're on a tear. Now, on the one hand, you know, if any team has to play Houston in the playoffs, they're getting a team that's won 3 in a row. On the other hand, they're getting a team that just a month ago was 2-7 and couldn't seem to get anything to go right for them. Right. So you never know what's going to happen when the big bright lights come on of the postseason. Sioux Falls certainly has had plenty of postseason experience. The second round has been their bugaboo, but they have won on Wild Card Weekend, back-to-back weekends. So if they make it back there again, they could try for 3 in a row.
I'd love to have a webcam in the Houston war room. See how they're reacting.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 at the 29. Tyree flips it outside, and the tight end Portis drops it again. This is the word of the quarter is execution for Sioux Falls. It's not that they've called a bad game; they're just not executing.
They're not crisp. They're not crisp at all. You can't do that against Chicago. I mean, Chicago is wired. They're wired. They're ready to run, and you can't go slow on them.
And missing blocks, dropping passes. It's just been a little wonky for the Sparrows here in the third quarter after a pretty nice first half. Tyree out of the gun. This could be the final play of the third quarter. Nickel look for Chicago. Haven't talked about that as much as we probably should be tonight. That pass is caught by Porter. What a bullet from Julian Tyree, and that ends the third quarter of play. Sioux Falls needs to put a drive together because they're down by 8, and the playoffs are on the line. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is brought to you in part by Nation's Best, helping high school, college, and NFL athletes help to hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, the official scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, official merchandise partner of the Simulation Football League. And by SpyGoat, dedicated to the craft of audio, the beautiful shots all week long in Chicago. And actually, usually we get to spend the whole week in the city we call the game from, Charles. But this week, we had to make a quick trip from Florida up to Chicago, and we've been here for a couple days. Still been beautiful, though.
Yep, it's fast food in the restaurant tonight. Restaurant in the airport tonight.
At least it's starting to get a little colder now,
Yep.
though. We're feeling that all over our travels across this great
Look at
land,
that.
and that pass is incomplete. We were just talking about in the break, Charles, that Sioux Falls is at their worst when they get impatient and start to force things down the field. That was an ultimate force into triple coverage.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they got to calm down. They've got plenty of time to get 8 points on the board and tie this thing up.
Riley Porter has been really quiet tonight.
Definitely.
I mean, caught a couple of slants, but hasn't gotten anything going down the field. He's one of the league's best receivers in terms of yards, second most coming in the week. This is targeted for him, and Porter makes the catch. But, I mean, Riley Porter, he's a lethal force, but they've gone away from him somewhat in the last few weeks.
Yep. And also, it's hard to go up those between Vic and Gaines. They're probably locking him down as well.
Probably not giving them enough credit. I mentioned the nickel earlier tonight. I'm not sure that Chicago, they've been in this nickel a lot tonight. Chicago loves their nickel probably more than any other team in the league. Tyree back to pass. 3rd and 5, and Porter got the first down.
Wow, he was in.
Keeping the toes in.
Look at that.
And Sham Varner raises his hands and says, I don't know about that. Somebody needs to check the replay on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I from the angle I saw it, I don't know if he got it in, but we'll see. I don't think anyone's going to challenge it.
Hockey Pappy 10 says, bro, these guys are better than NFL players, and I think some of them are. Pseudo Nakai is sitting next to me. Oh, I don't want to bring up the fumble. I'm sorry. It just crossed my
Yeah,
mind.
no,
First
don't
and
bring
10
that
at the
up.
48.
Thanks.
Tyree flips it outside to Hart. Hart's got no blockers. Oh, but he makes a nice
on his
stiff arm.
own. Wow.
On Hender's shot, pick up a 5. He was representing for running backs in there after I threw you under the bus there. That was an honest mistake. I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, that was some power. You don't see a lot out of Hart. He went straight for those defenders.
Under 10 to play. There's a look at Blake Craze, the league leader in tackles, 21-13. And Tyree in trouble.
Dangerous.
And he's not reading the defense. That play to McGee was all covered up. If you're interested in being a player in the SFL, visit simulationfl.net and join our Discord server by clicking the Discord icon. It's just an organized chat room, but it is a big one, with over 600 SFL community members and more joining every day. The rookie drafts first round, Saturday, December 14th, live on 11 Sports from their studios in Connecticut. You will not want to miss it. I will be there, and many others in the SFL will as well. 3rd down and 5 at the 43-yard line. Tyree dropping the throw. He's going to get a face full of Wildcat.
Wow.
At midfield, 4th down and 10, and the sack is Kevin Owens. And that will end the Sparrow drive.
Wow. I mean, the offensive line, like we said, they've been spotty here in the second half, and you can see on that play they didn't. It looks like they didn't send an extra rusher in there. They were just able to blast by that offensive line and really end that drive. This is Chicago, when they get the ball back here. I mean, they've got a perfect opportunity to burn some time off and take this game home with them. See if we see more running up the middle like we did on that last play with Bovino. So far, I think he's one of the standout guys in the game.
He hasn't done anything flashy, but for stepping in for an injured Ash Odom, outside of maybe E.T. King, who's kind of stabilized down the stretch, Bovino's my player of the game.
Yep.
He's made it happen. Heavy set here for Chicago. And they're going to throw out to Bovino.
There we go.
And he's in trouble. Boy, that did not work.
That's like slow motion when he catches it.
Jose Fuentes makes the play. And obviously that play is designed for Ash Odom.
Yep.
But Bovino he can't execute that. Keep it simple. Run it right in between the tackles.
Right down their throat. Right down their throat. They've stopped them a couple times, but for the most part it's been for positive yardage.
Hockey Pappy says he's a world-class punter in the chat. SimulationFL.net.
There you go. And
click the Discord server, and you can start building value onto your player. Check-ins each week, including right now. Right now, at this very second, you can check in to make your player better, and you can do that every single week until you get drafted or until you sign. And then just like that, you've got a whole bunch of value to put onto your player, and then throughout the season, you'll get to make your player better. And you'll really notice the impact that you're making.
Definitely each week,
down the stretch. 3rd and 12 at the 12 for King. 8:45 to go. King's got to get rid of this. He does. Down the middle of the field.
Unbelievable.
First down to the 35-yard line. Chicago has seen something on film. They have gone deep middle on Sioux Falls, and it's worked all night long.
Yeah, Torres was able to get into the soft part of the defense there, and you see the rifle of King get that ball downfield. Man, that came out quick.
And again, thrown right in between a couple of defensive backs. And a second later, it would have been picked off. But King, really solid. 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's made all the throws when he needs to. QBR at 96. 8:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Chicago up by 8. If they win, Houston comes back at 5-7. The first team to make the playoffs, sub 500 in 2 years. That passes to the yard, intercepted. Barnhart gets the play on the 4th deflection, and Sioux Falls has the ball at midfield and just turned the game on its head.
Here we go. It's teed up for them. Let's see what they can do with it. They weren't so crisp the last time they had the ball, hopefully on the sidelines there.
Oh, what a play.
Yeah.
Barnhart was the guy that initially made the play, and then he comes back to get the interception off of the multiple deflections. That was one of the best defensive plays of the year.
That was outstanding. Unbelievable. And now let's see what the offense can do. They've got it in perfect situation here.
And if Sioux Falls ends up winning this game, we're going to look back at that play to say that was the difference maker. Split backs in the backfield for Tyree. Back to throw, quickly outside. And they continue to trust these tight ends. Robert Garrett Jr. makes a nice play, 7-yard gain.
Yep, the more you bring in Garrett Jr., I think it's going to be great. It's going to be not only is it smart, but it's also going to open up some things for their other wide receivers.
8:05 to go in the first half. 2nd and 3 at the 43-yard line. And it's same formation here. Watch Garrett Jr. at the top of the screen. Not covered up right now. They're going to run it to Hart. And Hart tried to make a move, but again, he's all by himself out there as Vic makes the heads-up tackle. I do like the change-up, though, from Sioux Falls, 3rd and short.
Yeah, it looked like there was a decent hole in the middle there. Maybe he probably didn't see it. But, yeah, I like it. They're going to have to mix it up a little bit, and so far, so good.
Here we go. This is a huge 3rd down off of the interception. Sioux Falls needs some offensive points. Down 8. Heavy set again. Going to throw. Tyree outside,
nice.
Caught first down. He could have gone anywhere he wanted to with that
both
football.
sides.
And Tyree is 31 of 44, but just for 226 yards. That's about 5 yards per completion.
Right. That's right. Yeah, most of them to Hart. But he had a receiver open on both sides. It was just, pick your poison.
7:15 to go. Chicago has done a magnificent job of not only defending flats for most of the night, but also defending the deep ball. It's tough to do both effectively in the SFL as Tyree's pass down the middle. Oh, overshot Warren again, and it almost ended up in the hands of Garrett Jr.
Yeah, almost. I actually thought he was going for Garrett Jr. Maybe it was just the angle I was looking at this, and the other wide receiver dove for it.
Whew, everybody take a breath. Man, Chicago, as we reset this ball game, up 8 without Ash Odom for much of the night. Their bell cow still winning here at home, trying to knock Sioux Falls out of the playoffs as Tyree flips it out to Hart. And Hart only picks up 2. It's 3rd down and 8. Charles, this game ended up not mattering for Chicago. Win or loss, they were going to be the number 7 seed tonight. But you always want to go into the postseason feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And so far they have. I mean, they've had made a couple mistakes, but overall, I mean, you just look at the way they adapted to their star running back going down.
4 wide, 3 to the left for Tyree on a 3rd down and 8 at the 35. Can't take a sack. Deep ball in the middle of the field, caught by Robert Garrett Jr. He has stepped up big in the 4th quarter, and Sioux Falls moves the chains near the red zone.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, anytime, like I said, anytime you get a guy like Garrett involved, it's going to make things a lot easier for your offense because they're going to start keying in on him because he's a big boy and he's hard to bring down.
Blake Craze with another tackle. Your playoff schedule, the wild card round is Saturday, October 12th. Coverage begins with me and Charles in Seattle at 5 Eastern time. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, the 15th and the 16th, is the quarterfinals. The semis, Tuesday, October 22nd, and Wednesday, October 30th, is the big night, the championship game. And the team that wins will celebrate with discounted candy 2 days later. That's the best part about Halloween, all that chocolate. All those companies that overshot everybody's hype for Halloween, just wanting to get rid of it.
Just no candy corn. I'm not a big fan of that.
I used to be as a kid, but now it just hurts my teeth. Tyree on a quarterback keeper.
What?
For the first time tonight, trying to make it a more manageable 3rd down, but only got 1. Donnie Odom was ready.
Yeah, that was odd, but a big 3rd down here. I think they're going to need to get it in the end zone here. Not on this play, but after the 1st down.
18 catches for Colin Hart tonight. 5:26 to go in the 4th, 3rd and 5. Time is a-ticking. Tyree to throw. Out to Hart. Hart needs a block. Got a block. And can't get the 1st down. The 14-yard line. Chicago shuts down the flats again. And this is decision time for the Sparrows.
Yeah, I'd go for the field goal because their defense could make a turnover. They've shown they've been able to do it.
That's a tough call, man. I do like the formation. It's been successful. 4th down and 1. Are they actually going to snap it? Oh no! Jumped offside, and the pass is caught anyway. What a mistake.
Yeah, that's not like the Chicago defense. Unbelievable. What a break for Sioux Falls.
We have seen teams down the stretch in the 4th quarter all week long just choke, for
Right.
lack of a better
Yep.
word. That was a choke right there from B.J. Smith. And Sioux Falls now has a fresh set of downs, and the drive continues. In the way that Sioux Falls is churning out offense, this might be their last shot to get a touchdown, just based on how long it has taken them on this drive alone.
Yeah, I think they're looking the sharpest they have, though, on as far as their previous series. I think this is their best series so far.
3 in the backfield, 4:51 to go in the fourth. First and goal from the 9. The
There you
handoff
go.
goes
There
to
you go.
Hart.
There you
Hart's
go.
got
Oh!
nice
Wow, look at
play. Coming out of nowhere, Maurice Spurgeon saying, hey, next Hall of Fame ballot, you might want to consider me too.
What a great open field tackle. I thought he was going in the end zone.
He's been their best defender tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
3 in the backfield. Denver Nightwings makes a good point. If you go for the field goal, you need a touchdown on the next drive anyway. Hart making a couple of people miss. Barnes went flying. Critical 3rd and goal from the 4. And I would line up in that heavy set again, try to throw it out to one of those tight ends. That's been most
Yeah,
effective
keep them
in the
guessing.
fourth
I mean, you
quarter.
can kill them a couple ways when you do it that.
Wow, this is huge, man. All the way down to 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Here's split backs in the backfield, and I believe that's Porter off the line to the left. They're going to throw.
Oh, he's wide open. Wide open.
Gets it out to Hart. Hart,
Here we
touchdown!
go. Here we go.
And a late hit call is going to be given, and that is huge
That
because
was
that
huge.
makes the 2-point conversion at the 1-yard line.
Yep, wow. He was wide open.
A late hit in the end zone following the Hart touchdown. That is called against Greg Gaines, a lapse in judgment. And I don't really know if you can fault Gaines. He's trying to keep Hart out of the end zone, but he lost where he was on the field, and that's going to make the 2-point conversion from 1 yard away.
Yeah. I was like, please, see this? He's wide open. Please get him the ball.
Wow. That is another potentially second costly penalty on the
Yep.
drive for Chicago. This would tie the game with 3 in the backfield for Tyree. 4 down linemen, handoff Hart.
Wow.
Colin Hart's
Oh,
not gonna
my
get there.
gosh.
Colin Hart does not get there from 1 yard out, and will take a break. Sioux Falls still trailing. Hart, 17 yards on 10 carries, shut down in prime time. .352 to go in the fourth quarter off the failed 2-point conversion. Sioux Falls down 2, but they will kick it off and play defense from the 10-yard line. Carter on the return past the 25-30. Carter out to the 32. And what a crazy game. In the post game, we're going to have to get the numbers. That had to have at least been a 15-play drive.
Yeah, definitely. That was a long drive. Now they have to do is just burn the clock.
Wow. Lots of nervous players out in the SFL universe as Sioux Falls with a win gets in and eliminates Houston. A loss eliminates Sioux Falls, and Houston gets the spot as Nick Fargo makes the tackle. No gain. The clock continues to roll. But Chicago has not had a good night in 3rd and long. This is a critical play here.
Definitely a critical play. They just let the clock keep ticking. There's no hurry to get up there on the line.
3:25, fourth quarter. Heavy look. They've thrown out of this a lot tonight. Bovino. And Chicago playing the clock wisely here, but they snapped it with 8 on the clock. They
Here
get
we
it out
go.
to Bovino.
Oh,
Bovino's
Bovino's got some
block.
room.
And Bovino picks
Wow.
up 5. Nice job by Bovino, and the blockers getting out in space. Levy now with his 10th solo tackle, 4th of the second half.
And he stayed in bounds, too, so clock keeps ticking.
2:50 left. Chicago will have to snap it at least one more time. They got to let this tick down under 240. 3rd and 5. Sioux Falls showing blitz. They might be bringing everybody. Trying to get this stopped. The handoff goes to
nice
Bovino
run.
with the first down.
Holy mackerel.
Say his name one more time. Enrico Bovino.
Is Supremo.
Making the plays and excellent blocking as well down the field for Chicago. And Alex Perez, the fullback who was signed in Week 11. You know, sometimes the big fellas go unnoticed, but not unnoticed that time.
Yeah,
really
good blocking.
tremendous block. 1st and 10 at the 44. Chicago should not be in a rush here. 205, 204.
Don't snap.
And they snap it to Bovino. He's stuck. Bovino going to lose a yard, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning. That was a mistake. Chicago might regret. Wildcats 21, Sparrows 19. Simulation Football League, 2 minutes left in the 13th regular season. Don't go anywhere. Two minutes left. Chicago on a 2nd and 11. Sioux Falls has 3 timeouts. The Sparrows clinging to their last hope. Bovino handoff will pick up 2. And now the Sparrows have 2 timeouts. And the way that E.T. King's been slinging the ball deep middle, Charles, I would put it in his hands and let it ride, baby.
You think?
I think so.
Well, I'd let the clock run and let them force them to use a timeout. I'd run it. I guess that's my point.
Well, here we go. We haven't seen this formation much at all tonight. Carter at the bottom of the screen. Simons in the slot. Torres top of the screen. This is King out of the shotgun split. And they bring the blitz to Sioux Falls. He goes deep to the field. Wide open. Simons. Chicago, a potential walk-off. What a gutsy call by both squads. And Chicago may have just sealed Sioux Falls' fate.
I'm going to zip my lips on that one. I was completely wrong on that one. Holy mackerel.
They brought everybody.
Home run Simons catches it and takes it in for his 9th touchdown of the season. Wide open.
Wow. And the Houston Hyena fan base has erupted. Lots of GGs going on in the chat, but I don't think so. Not with 1:48 to go. Plenty of time left in the ball game. Chicago still has to convert this extra point, but as of right now, Houston is looking in good shape. Back from the dead of 2-7 to potentially make the playoffs. And before anybody says, 5-17 getting in. No, this 5-17 has beaten Chicago, Mexico City, who's the 4 seed, and Alaska, who's the 6 seed. They had not beaten Alaska in 8 previous meetings, and they did all of that in the last 3 weeks of the season. They are not your long lost family members. 5-17.
Yes, you're right. You nailed it. They're outstanding on defense, and defense wins championships. And they're one of these last couple games they've been one of, if not the best defensive teams in the league.
1:42 to go in the 4th quarter. Sioux Falls now clinging to a prayer, and all they can hope for at this point. I really have not seen a ton of deep routes run out of this team. Maybe go back to that post corner to Porter and hope he can win a jump ball.
Yeah, definitely.
And break a tackle and be gone. They're going to need a score very quickly here. 4 receivers for Tyree. Tyree back to pass. Tyree will flip it outside to Hart. He's going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Sioux Falls just way too passive tonight.
Yeah, that play did not he went the wrong way on that one.
And Porter was way down the field. Yep. And look, they're all running down the field, so when it's not working, they have to run all the way back to the line. the Sparrows a tough game plan here, or it just didn't come together. I don't think the desired game plan tonight, and now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, their season could end in this play.
1:21 left. After the ball game, we will keep it here and have a mini post-game show and preview the playoffs just a bit. The playoff matchups going to be exciting. Deep ball, Tyree is intercepted. That's the ball game. Returned by Barnes, 20. A.J. Barnes to the 17-yard line. Put a hat on it. Houston going to make the playoffs.
Unbelievable. I mean, Chicago just the last part of the second half, their defense has just been incredible. Yeah, you're going to throw. If you're going to throw it, don't throw it in the middle. Don't throw it in the middle, especially against that secondary. I mean, I think they could have been successful if they were trying it on the sidelines, but here we go. Now the looks like the game is all but over.
Man, and the playoffs. Get this, Charles. All 4 wild card teams this season missed the playoffs last season.
Wow,
that is a tremendous accomplishment for Chicago, Atlanta, Tulsa, and now Houston, as Sioux Falls exhausts their final timeout. A couple more kneel downs for E.T. King will make this official, and Chicago will finish the season 8-4. The only reason why they're not in the 6th spot was from a random lapse in judgment when Chicago thought they had gone out of bounds late in the game against Alaska. They had not. The clock kept running. They couldn't get the field goal team out there fast enough, and Chicago ended up losing 20-17 to Alaska. That's the only reason.
That's right.
Chicago's playing in the wild card this week instead of going to Seattle the following week. So just crazy. Just the thinnest of margins in the SFL, which only has one conference, and it's done by design to create parity and chaos at this time of year.
The parity and chaos, that's the best way to describe the second half of the SFL.
It's a fun time. If you're interested in joining up and becoming a player in the league or anything else, broadcaster, coach, team owner, join our Discord server, simulationfl.net, and the little Discord icons in the top right of that website. And boy, the community is going to be abuzz after tonight. The playoffs officially begin on Saturday the 12th. That's just 4 days away. Charles and I will kick that off right here from Chicago. The Wildcats will host the Houston Hyenas in a rematch from a few weeks ago.
Get ready.
Oh, get ready. We are going to bring the fireworks. You can bet your house on it. That's the ball game. 28-19. Chicago beats Sioux Falls. And we finally get a look at these post-game numbers. What a phenomenal performance by Chicago without their leading man, Ash Odom. Just a tremendous effort that you hardly ever see that happen. The yardage almost similar, but Sioux Falls just had no running game tonight. And, I mean, Hart got 10 carries, but every time he was getting the ball, he was getting shut down.
And, it was smart that they figured out that Bovino was successful running up the middle, and they fed it to him. He wasn't breaking it off for 20 or 30, but he was keeping the drives alive. And he's my vote for player of the game because he stood up. I mean, maybe didn't have the numbers, but he stood in there when he needed to, and he helped the team win.
Did score the touchdown, so
he definitely did.
He has a chance. Nick Castle in the chat, appreciate the kind words. Says, if you haven't joined, if you are watching, this is the best part of my life in 2019.
Wow.
I love to see that and love to be able to brighten up your world, whether it be in the virtual world or the actual world. That's what we do here. We blend fantasy and reality and make your life better. We don't want you to forget about your life. We want to improve it and make it better. That's what we're all about here. That was a huge pick by Greg Gaines down the stretch, and man, you just look back at it. I mean, Bovino gets in from 1 yard. Hart couldn't score a 2-point conversion from 1 yard away. Sioux Falls had 6 turnovers. I mean,
they were up and down. Sioux Falls offense was up and down.
That was their best play of the night right there. Barnhart, that was a tremendous play.
Yeah. We saw a couple plays with the offensive line almost looked like they took a play off or two. And then the other plays, they were fantastic on blocking. If they could have been consistent, I think we could have had a closer game. If not, maybe a different score.
So that late hit penalty ends up not hurting Chicago. Neither did the offside, as Chicago looked like they were starting to unravel down the stretch. But they held it together, in part because of that man right there, E.T. King.
Yep.
He stayed cool,
Solid.
calm, and collected. Even though Sioux Falls had pressure early on in this game, they got a few sacks in the first half. That pressure really went away in the second half because Bovino ended up becoming a threat after all.
Yep, no mistakes. E.T. King, no mistakes at all. I don't believe, for the most part.
Had the one
that's right,
pick
one,
to
one.
Levy, but he was trying to be aggressive down the field, and it was a great individual play by Levy. Other than that, pretty clean sheet, and I have a feeling, he's going to get it. 21 of 30, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns for E.T. King, and we're going to get rolling here on the post game. And man, I can't wait for this. All right, Charles, the regular season is over.
It is over.
We are ready for the playoffs. It is all going to start in Chicago Saturday, October 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. The Wildcats at 8-4 will take on the 5-7 Houston Hyenas. This is a rematch from earlier this season where Houston actually got the victory. Before we break down how that game went, what are your initial thoughts on our first matchup of the postseason?
I think it's going to be a defensive battle. Even more so than this game was at least the first 3 quarters. I mean, Houston's defense has been incredible. Chicago's they're known for being a good defense. When they get together, it's just going to be a backyard brawl.
21-20 was the final score, but that contest between Houston and Chicago, it was an up and down game. 358 total yards of offense for Chicago, 322 for Houston. Both teams had over 100 passing and rushing yards in the ball game, so both found the balance. Both running backs obviously have had some injury bugs. Warren Murray has staved off injury for the last month or so, but he's been banged up this season. Ash Odom was banged up tonight.
Yep.
This is going to be a really compelling first matchup, and Houston gets back into the playoffs after a 3-9 finish a season ago. Chicago was 6-6. Both of these teams improved by 2 wins this season, and it was enough to get them in. Yeah,
they deserved it. I mean, the way they turned it around. I mean, great coaching, great players. Great locker room. They were able to do it, and they deserve to be here. Let's see how deep they can go in the playoffs. They're starting off against a tough Chicago team. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so after we finish up here in Chicago on Saturday night, we will head to Atlanta, Georgia for a nightcap. It'll be the Swarm's first playoff game in quite some time, and it will be the Tulsa Desperados at the Atlanta Swarm in the 9-8 contest. Tulsa finishes 6-6, and they really came back from the dead as well over the last month of the season. Atlanta has been up and down. They're a roller coaster team. They turned the ball over a ton. They really had a chance to beat Seattle this past week. Tulsa beat Seattle in an upset. That's one of the many reasons why the Desperados are here. But these 2 quarterbacks, they're 2 superstars in this league. Marcus Dunhill and Ashley Jackson. They make it happen. They're big personalities, and they're huge in the SFL community. And this is going to be one for the ages.
Yeah, both of those quarterbacks have been on fire. And when the offense on either team, when they start clicking, look out. It's going to be a high-scoring match, I think.
That's a late kickoff because we're actually on the air after FCS football. Cal Poly and Cal Davis, the battle for the Golden Horseshoe, will split the SFL wildcard doubleheader on 11 Sports on Saturday. So we're super pumped to be involved on a football Saturday on 11 Sports. So Atlanta will take on Tulsa. The 2 teams this season had their own separate roller coasters, but both somehow found a way to make it in. And we're happy to see all of their hard work and effort paid off. And that is your wild card round. So, moving from wild card round to the quarterfinal round, it starts Tuesday, and it starts in Seattle. The Seattle Tyrants, the 3 seed, it'll be the first SFL playoff game played in the state of Washington, and the Tyrants, who are a little bit unproven, this coaching staff, a little bit unproven in the postseason, will take on the 3-time defending champions. Charles, they did not meet in the regular season. We'll have the call for that. By the way, Rich Pratchett and Stephen Hacker will have the call for Atlanta-Tulsa. We will have the call for this quarterfinal game, Alaska-Seattle. Oh, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. Alaska's had some up and downs this season, but in the playoffs, it's a whole different deal. I mean, great coaching on both sides, but, you've got the seasoned veteran 3-time champions on the Storm side. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Seattle's a tough team to beat. I'd love to see their running back run. He's a great running back, and it's going to be that's going to be another great game to see. Don't miss it.
Check that. My mistake. Colin Northrup and Rick Northrup will call Atlanta and Tulsa on Wild Card Saturday. Rich Pratchett and Stephen Hacker will call the next game, and the next game is. Ignore that graphic. Our apologies. The fourth game that we can confirm on the docket is Tallahassee and Mexico City. The 5-4 matchup, a rematch of a game that we had 2 nights ago, but that game was in Tallahassee, Charles. Jeffrey Daggs, a kickoff return touchdown to start overtime and end overtime, basically. These two teams, huge rivalries. They've met 12 times all time. Both teams have a combined 1 championship, but plenty of playoff experience, and they want this one back.
Yeah, you don't want to miss any of these games. I mean, I'm still exhausted from when we did that game. It was such a heavyweight battle, and I don't expect anything less when they get together again.
Mexico City and Tallahassee 40-34 in that playoff game, and the Aztecs and Pride have a long and storied history, and I can't wait to break that down more throughout the week with the beat team and everything that all those guys are doing for simulationfl.net as well. Denver and Baltimore are the number 1 and number 2 seeds respectively. They will play on Wednesday, October 16th, against opponents to be determined. Denver will play the lowest wild card seed remaining, and Baltimore will play the highest wild card seed remaining, and we will see who those people are. And I just want to make a point out quickly that Tallahassee and Mexico City have met in the playoffs before. The last time they met in the playoffs was October 22nd, 2018. It was a very low-scoring game, and that was back in season 11. Tallahassee won 13-10.
Wow.
But the Pride were at home in that contest, and I think they may have met one more time way back in the day. They did. September 19th, 2015, the Tallahassee Pride met the Santa Fe Gorillas in the semifinal.
Wow.
That was the old name of the Mexico City franchise. Santa Fe won that game 31-27. That was the last playoff game played in Mexico City against Tallahassee, and that ended up getting Mexico City, then Santa Fe, to their first championship appearance, where they ultimately lost to D.C., but the Aztecs won the championship 2 years later. That is your playoff slate as we know it. Again, things will start with Chicago and Houston on Saturday night. We cannot wait to bring you this broadcast and all of the postseason action. Charles, your final thoughts. We are wrapping up a regular season tonight. It has been one for the ages. I can't remember a more competitive SFL season.
What a great season. We did the 1,000th game.
Yeah, we did. Boy, that seems like ages ago.
The convention was a blast. I mean, personally for me, what a great season for me to be a part of the league. Started off as a rookie, got to go through that process. It was outstanding. Got to be part of Vancouver. There were some highs and lows there, but I think overall it was a great team. A great season. The people that I met in the league. I mean, for the new people that are thinking about joining, I mean, everyone's professional. They're helpful. It's competitive. It's a blast, and you can get involved as much as you want to. And, I don't regret a day that I didn't get involved in this league.
We thank 11 Sports for all of their coverage of the Simulation Football League throughout the season. The playoffs are going to be lit. for all of us in the Thunderdome in Chicago. Me and Charles, hey, we're gonna book a room, and we're gonna find lots of things to do this week while we gear up for Houston and Chicago here from Illinois. For all of the SFL crew, for everybody behind the scenes in the stats truck, with the broadcast team and all of our broadcast crews throughout the season, all of the personnel at 11 Sports, we thank you. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. We'll see you in the playoffs Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Good night from Chicago.
All right, Chairman, you're clear.
Thanks so much, Henry.